Chapter 11. I was ready to fight. I was pumped. Kill or be killed. It's so cool when you feel the razor sharp claws sliding out of your delicate-looking pink pads. Rachel, take a pill, girl. It's just Tobias. And Cat says soothingly, Tobias, I think maybe you better stay away. Cats are genetically programmed to be afraid of large birds. She was right. The shout Tobias scared me pretty good. It was strange, but it was a fear I shared with the Stru. But it was different. It was more like I was angry too, but that wasn't quite it either. I guess it wasn't a real emotion. When I guess I was trying to communicate, and the message was, don't mess with me. Maybe bigger than me. You might scare me. You might run away, but if I'm ready to fight, I have to. I mean, if I have to fight, I'm ready. That's my whole cat message to the world. Don't message me. Don't mess with me. Don't get in my way. Don't try to touch me if I don't want to be touched. Don't try to keep me from getting what I want. That is cats in a nutshell, yes. I was self-contained. I was complete. I didn't need anything about myself. It seemed lonely to my human self, but at the same time, it's all very calm somehow. I'm okay. I think I'm pretty much in control. What's it like, Cassie asks? It's like, you know those old cowboy movies with Clint Eastwood? He's a gunslinger, he walks in a saloon and everyone kind of gets out of the way. Like, yeah, he's not really looking for trouble, but you better not make him mad. That's what it's like I'm Clint Eastwood. Now I'm just thinking of a cat wearing a cowboy hat. It's adorable. Can you do this, you think? Oh yeah, I can do anything. Don't let the cat's arrogance get you in trouble, Marco advised. Keep a little that good old human fear. Oh, I forgot, my Rachel doesn't even have that, so usually you borrow some of my human fear. I have plenty to spare. He's right, Rachel. Keep focused. Between your natural attitude and the cat's attitude, you could get cocky. I clasped against toward a mouse. He broke in a nut at last. I could kill him. I was sure that he's a plump little mouse I'd catch him easily. But I wasn't hungry, so I get to live a little longer. No problem, I said. We're here if you get into a mess. I'll meow if I need help. Don't worry, I'm in control now. It'll be fine. But the truth was I was lying just a little. See, I wasn't completely in control. For some reason I didn't want to be. I kinda like this arrogance. It made me feel more sure of myself, despite I always thought I needed all the confidence I can get. The morph clock is ticking, Cass said. It's a 8:15. Remember that? I had to easy trot down the sidewalk toward the Chapman home. As soon as I started moving, I thought, oh man, if I keep some of this for my next gymnastics class. It was like grace beyond grace you could imagine as a human. I passed a wooden fence, there was a railing up high, maybe 3 feet up. I looked up at him before I could even think about it. I leaped. My powerful hind legs curled up and released. I sailed through the air, 3 feet up, and I was an animal that stood out only about 12 or 13 inches tall. It was the same as a human being just leaping up a 2-story building. I knew it was totally nothing, just automatic. I wanted to jump, so I did. I wanted to stick to laying on a narrow 2-inch wide rail, and of course there was no problem. Compared to a cat, the best genus we ever lived is a big staggering cow or something. Rachel, what are you doing? They're all saying look at me, I'd totally forgotten they were around. Just practicing. I jumped back into the grass. Okay, get the job done first, I told myself. You can worry about the Kitty Olympics later. Oh man, the Kitty Olympics would be great. I started around toward the house, so this time something forced me to stop. It was a telephone pole. The smell that emanated from it was overpowering. Praise be to the pole. I went over to it and I sniffed again in short snorts of air. The air was trapped in a series of chambers above my palate. It would be held there if I went on breathing. That would get every possible information from that smell. So they have, like, smell pockets. Interesting. It was definitely a Tom scent. A tomcat marked his pole peeing on. He was a dominant cat. A very dominant cat. His smell made me nervous. Not afraid, just a little less arrogant. If this cat appeared, I'd have to submit. I had to make myself smaller and less threatening and accept his dominance. Or I could fight him and get my butt kicked. That's just the way things were. It was all there in the smell of urine where any cat could read it. I resumed trying toward the home. Rachel, are you sure you're in control? Tobias voiced in my head. Why'd you sound to send the pole? I just figured I should look like a real cat. I'm just playing the part. If you say so, he said doubtfully. Just remember, it's fun being out for a while. Not so much when it's permanent. 2-hour clock is ticking. That got my attention, like a dash of cold water. I focused my human mind to greater control, but it wasn't easy. The cat's mind didn't even understand the notion of obeying. I used something the cat would respond to. I conjured up memory of the Big Tom smell. That triggered submissiveness. Well, my part of collected mind grew larger. You're almost there. This is the right yard. Yeah, I know. My scent's everywhere. The whole area smells of me. This is home. It's all mine. Rachel, this is Chapman's, and Chapman belongs to Visor Free. Don't forget that. I tried the cat door. Chapman, Visor Free. Big deal. I was a combination of Rachel and Fluffer. What do I care about Chapman and Visor Free? I'm trying to combine the name in my head, but it's just not working. Flachel? Nah. The light inside the house was bright. My eyes adjusted instantly. My nose picked up the smell of cat food, too dry and old to interest me. I also smelled the humans, Melissa, Mr. Chapman, Mrs. Chapman. Don't ask me how I knew where I smelled those 3 people. I just knew. I just spotted a cockroach in a dust hole in the dark beneath the refrigerator. No interest. Roaches make interesting scritchy noises, and they're fun to watch run, but they smelled wrong. They're not prey. Swift movements. Feet. Human feet. I didn't even bother looking up. It was Miss Chapman. High-pitched sounds coming from a motor refrigerator. They were annoying. There also sounded birds outside. They had a nest up in the eaves. Then it sounded Melissa's voice. Where was she? I didn't see her anywhere. The sound was muffled. I tried to focus, my ears moved to point toward the sound. It came from above me and far away. She's in her bedroom, that's where. I couldn't hear the words clear, but I knew she was muttering. I tried to cross the kitchen floor. I knew, as Rachel, I knew I should be terrified. But I couldn't be afraid. Everything here smelled like me. My scent glands left their marks everywhere. On that door, on that cupboard, on that chair. It was reassuring. The big dominant tomcat smell was not here. There are no cats at all. Only human smells, and those are not very important. That's cat brain for you. I left the kitchen, paused at the corner between the hallway and family room. Chapman was there in the living room. I could smell him. He was just sitting on the couch. I glanced at him and walked on, but then I stopped. My human brain sensed something wrong with the picture. He was just sitting on the couch. No TV, no music. He wasn't reading a book or a newspaper. He was just sitting. I turned back to her kitchen and looked at Miss Chapman. She was doing something in the sink, maybe washing dishes. No, she was cutting vegetables, but again, no TV or music. She wasn't humming. She wasn't talking to herself the way a mom does when she works in the kitchen. Not right. Something was not right with the Chapmans. I went back to the hallway. There were stairs leading up to bedrooms. From the hallway I could hear Melissa more clearly. I concentrated trying to ignore the fascinating sounds of birds. I focused on human sounds of her voice. Divide by the square root... No, square root times... Is that right? Well, don't ask me. I'm horrible at this sort of thing. Algebra is not my strong suit. She was doing her homework, her math homework, obviously. Like I should be doing, I thought. I had a pang of guilt. Instead of doing homework, I was creeping my friend's house, spying on her and her parents. I tried to find a clock. I had to watch the time. At 9:49, my 2 hours would be up. I wanted to be out of Morphin back in my normal body long before then. Hopefully I still get time to do my math homework, or at least do some of the reading for social studies. I spied a clock. It was over a mantle with pictures of the Chapmans and Melissa. The clock said 3 minutes till 8. I had plenty of time. Sudden movement. Oh, just Chapman standing up. The cat part of me wasn't interested in one way or the other, but I forced myself to pay attention. It's important to watch him. That's why I was here. Is he prey? The cat brain seemed to be asking. Yes, homie cat brain. Chapman is our prey. Chapter 12. I followed Chapman as he headed down the hallway. He either didn't notice or he didn't care. He opened the door and let loose a flood of smells, dampness, mildew, bugs. Rachel, how are you doing in there? I jerked in surprise, a very uncat-like movement. He'll stood by and seemed to be very close to me to hear him. He must be on the roof or perched nearby. I strained my sensitive cat hearing. The birds on our eaves were silent. They were afraid of the big hawk. I'm fine, but you scared me half to death. Sorry, I was just worried. Well, don't worry, I'm following Chapman down to the basement. Why? Because that's where he's going, duh. Somehow his human words were annoying me. He wanted me to pay attention and it was hard to do. The cat didn't care about the words. The cat wanted to go down and look around the basement. Fortunately, that's what I wanted to do too. I tried down the rough wooden stairs to Chapman. Very weird, by the way. Going downstairs, the cat gave me a feeling of vertigo. I mean, I was going down head first. It's strange. Look, Tobias, I appreciate you looking out for me, but I'm kind of busy right now. I understand. I can't hear you very well anyway. You're getting further away. Yeah, I'm going down. I waited. He said nothing. Tobias, I called, but there's no answer. We'll still learn our thoughts speak. We know our limits how far we can be heard, but we weren't sure what those were. The basement had paneling all around. The ceiling was bare wood and full of spires and other interesting things. No mice, though. Nothing be considered actual prey, but many things might be fun to chase. Chapman is the prey of myself. We were hunting Chapman. I'm just thinking she's gonna accidentally maul him in a minute. There's sort of a TV room with a pool table full of chairs and a couch. It was obvious no one had used them for a long time. There are no human scents on them. There's dust where I can hear there are spires inside the TV set. The only part of the basement appeared to be used as a path right across the floor. I smelled the scent of Chapman tracked here with his shoes. He walked in a straight line across the basement to a door. It was a simple white painted door. He pulled a key out of his pockets and unlocked it. He opened it and stepped through. 5 feet behind the white door was a second door, and this one was of gleaming steel. It looked like a door to a bank vault. Beside the steel door was a small white panel. Chapman pressed his hand against it. It opened and it slid like a door in Star Trek. I knew I had to go after him. My human mind was afraid. The cat mind didn't see a reason I should walk in a dark place. To both of us, it felt like a trap. A place we couldn't get out of. But I had to get in there. That was the whole point of this spying trip. And Chapman was my prey. At the last second, just as swoosh I bounded in the room. It was dark at first, not that it bothered me. Then he turned on a low light. It was strange because I actually see better in the dark than I could in a low light. There was a sort of desk set into the wall. It was gray steel and very unusual looking. There was more little light panels in various cheerful colors. There was something that looked like a small but complicated spotlight hanging down from the ceiling. In front of the desk was a chair, a totally normal looking office chair, and he sat down. He ran his hands over a blue panel and he looked at his watch. He sat patiently, waiting. For a minute nothing happened, tried to look nonchalant like I just happened to wander in, but at the same time I was careful to stay behind Chapman so he couldn't see me. I remember Jake's warning about how anyone else would just assume I was a plain old cat, but he knew about morphing. He He knew Yorks knew about the Animorph morphing technology, so if he or any controller saw an animal acting wrong the wrong way, they could suspect the truth. Suddenly, my brilliant light snapped on. My eyes adjusted instantly, but even so the light was painfully bright. It came from a little spot-like thing. He turned around in his chair to face the light. The light began to change, and it took shape. It turned different colors. The 4 hooves appeared, the bluish fur, the many-fingered hands, the flat, intelligent face with no mouth and only slits for a nose, the penetrating almond-shaped main eyes, and the strange extra eyes mounted on stalk to turn this way and that, looking around the room. Then at last came a tail with a wicked, curved, scorpion-like tail. An Andalite, just like the prince who gave us our powers, but this is no true Andalite. Dread washed over me, dread too strong for even a cat brain to ignore. This is no true Andalite, it was the only Andalite body ever seized and taken by the Yeerks, the only Andalite controller in the galaxy. This was Visor Free, leader of the Yeerk invasion force. The old creature can morph into monsters acquired from all over the universe. Visor Free, the creature who murdered the Andalite prince while he cowered in terror, who nearly killed us all in that hell that was the Yeerk pool. Welcome, Visor, Chapman said in a humble voice. Isness 226 of the Solpnir pool submits to you. May the Cadrona shine and strengthen you. And you too, Isness 226, Visor said. I was shocked to hear his voice, and his Andalite body had no mouth. Andalites communicate telepathically just like I do in a morph. The second shock went over, they said to each other, Isness 226, how do we know the Yeerk slow controlled him? And the cat power brain was busy with another question. Was this apparition real? No, there was no scent. No sign at all, only lights and shadows. That's interesting that a cat can puzzle that much out. But I guess I can figure out how TVs work, so there you go. It was a hologram I knew, but it was a very convincing one. He seemed almost solid. He looked around as though he could see through his holographic eyes. I prayed he wouldn't notice me. Report, Isness. Yes, Visor. Part of me wanted to run. Even a hologram makes your skin crawl, but now he had figured out I wasn't real. The cat part of me was just bored. I realized when I could hear Visor Free, the hologram projection must not be able to transmit thought speech. It translated into regular speech. Is there progress on locating the Andalite bandits? No, Visor, nothing yet. I knew what we meant by the Andalite bandits. That's us, the Animorphs. I want them found. I want them found now. Chapman jumped back in surprise at his command. I could smell fear on him. In a calmer tone he went on, This can't go on, Isness 226. It cannot go on. The Council of 13 will hear about it. They will wonder why our poor all the Andalite ships near this planet were destroyed and all the Andalites killed. They will be suspicious and angry, and when they're angry at me, I am angry at you. Chapman was literally quivering. I could smell human sweat and something else. Something not totally human. It was faint to me. Very faint. Very faint. Was the Yeerk itself I was smelling? Was I smelling the Yeerk slug on his head? It seemed impossible for some strange smell. Something... I concentrated all my cat mind on analyzing it. What is that? Chapman swiveled in his chair. I looked up and froze. Chapman was staring right at me, and much worse, Visor's stalk eyes focused on me too. It is called a cat, Chapman said nervously. An Earth species uses a pet. The humans keep them close and find comfort in them. Why is it here? It belongs to the girl, my host's daughter. The host's daughter. I see, Visor said. Well, kill it. Kill it immediately. Chapter 3. Chapter 13, bleh. Kill it immediately. I wanted to run, I wanted to panic, but for some strange combination of cat's cunning and my own intelligence came together and saved me. I didn't so much as flick a whisker. If I had, I would have been dead. I knew that for a fact. If I reacted in a way like I'd understood, they'd have known for sure I was no more cat. The hologram watched me closely, all 4 of his eyes are focused on me. My not general Andalite expression revealed a razor-sharp focus of the powerful, evil Yeerk. Chapman was also staring at me. He had the same look in his eyes he had when he caught someone trying to skip out of school. I was terrified, or at least the Rachel part of me was. Fluffer couldn't have cared less. He sensed my concern, but he had none of his own. There are no birds here, no dogs, no smell of dominant cats, only some sort of 3-dimensional picture had no sense. And Chapman might be prey, or he might not, but he is certainly no threat. I just love this analysis of how cats think. It's just great. I think it's pronounced Visor, not Visor. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're correct, I just keep getting it wrong. It could be an Andalite, Visor Free said. Destroy it. And in response it said, meow. Visor Free glared at me. What is that? It's a sound a cat makes, Visor. I believe it wishes to eat. Shroop! Sounding that warning, Visor Free whipped his tail at me. A dangerous foot-long, scythe-shaped blade arc told me at a speed no human could hope to evade. But I wasn't just human. An attempt of time until you think I'd seen the sudden motion and crouched down, ears back, teeth bared. My paw, claws outstretched, swiped at a tail blade. My paw went right for the hologram, of course, and the blade, nothing but a projection, swept through me. Ha 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 ha. It took me a second to make sense of the sound. It was Visitor-Free laughing. Chapman seemed amazed too, like he'd never heard the sound. Like it wasn't impossible to imagine the visitor laughing. What a ferocious little beast, Visitor-Free said approvingly. See how he didn't back away or run? I am many times his size, and yet he struck at me. A pity this species is too small to serve as a host. Yes, a pity, Chapman said warily. Kill it, Visitor-Free said. What better form for an animal to use? Better kill it just in case. Yes, Visitor. Only what? The visitor snapped. It belongs to the girl. If I kill the animal, she'll be angry. She may draw attention. Killing a cat will be seen as a bad deed. It will violate my cover. Visitor-Free didn't look happy to be disobeyed, but he's not a creature who made impetuous decisions. He considered for a moment my future just hung there, balancing between life and death. Do not violate your cover or draw attention, the visitor said at last. I figured it's time for me to do something in my own defense. I walked over and rubbed my flank against Chapman's leg. What is it doing? Visitor-Free demanded. It's signaling it wishes to be fed. Interesting. Claws and teeth and ferocity mixed with a subtlety to manipulate creatures larger than itself. A worthy creature. Yes, let it live for now. Let it live until we have resolved the matter of the girl. Chapman's face actually seemed to twitch. There's one emotion he's shown other than fear. The girl, but Visitor, the agreement with the human Chapman. Visitor sneered. Agreements. Don't be fools. Don't be a fool. We make agreements to gain voluntary hosts. Agreements are a tool. Just as you are my tool. If you had brought me the Andalite Bants, I would not have to concern myself with a cat or a girl. Chapman bowed his head. I will bring them to you. Do that, he said coldly. And then the solid-seeming image began to change. The general Andalite body melted away, and its place grew a monster like nothing seen on Earth. Where the Andalite head had been was now a long, thick tube. It was an opening like some horrible mouth at the end of a tube. The thing was purple but translucent. You could all see through it, as I wasn't sure if it's because the hologram of the animal was just like that. The hologram visor lowered the tube head toward Chapman's head, and the mouth opened, revealing hundreds, maybe thousands of tiny suckers, each dripping slime. It seemed as the tube mouth closed over his head, and he shook and quivered in terror. His artificial voice said, Don't forget, Isness 226, I gave you this body. I placed you in his head because I trusted you. I fed you his brain and made you my lieutenant. But I can suck you back out again if you fail me. Would you like to see what happened to the last fool who failed me? Suddenly an image appeared in the air like a little movie, a second hologram. It showed a human woman, pain-racked, screaming as a purple creature sucking on her head. The real Chapman began to moan, No, Visitor, I beg you. In the little movie, a translucent purple thing suddenly went into a spasm, and from the woman's ear there came the slug. It was sucked, dripping, gray and slimy right out of her head. The purple creature swallowed a yerk slug, and the little movie ended. Not a very pretty picture, is it, Isthmus 226? Chapman just shook his head, his eyes still staring at the empty air where the image had appeared. He resumed his Andalite form. Don't fail me, Visitor-Free said. So, yeah. Apparently he just engages in casual cannibalism to torment his followers if they fail him. That's pretty deranged, I'd say. After 14, suddenly Visitor-Free vanished. The room was dark again. Chapman sat hunched over a desk with his head in his hands. It was a while before he opened the door and we both went back up the stairs. Miss Chapman was there waiting. What are the visitor's orders? She asked in a whisper. He looked at her like he'd seen a ghost. He wants the Andalite bandits. He morphed a Varanax. Vanarax? A Yerkbane. He kept his voice low too. He glanced toward the stairs. I could just check to see if Melissa was around. Miss Chapman shuddered. I heard he acquired a Vanarax. I always thought it was just another story to frighten his underlings. He showed me how he destroyed Idnis 174. And Miss Chapman looked shocked. He used the Vanarchs on an Isthmus of 2nd century? That Andalite controlling scum, he said viciously. I wish the Council team would find out what kind of mess he's making on this planet. Let them take the Andalite by from him and throw him back to some distant pool. Don't wish for that, Miss Chapman said grimly. Long before he loses power, he'll surely have you destroyed for failing him. My cat hears no sound for either of the Chapmans. Movement, hue and feet pounding, caught my ears toward the stairs. Hey Mom, Dad, can you help me with this math problem? It was Melissa. She was halfway down the stairs. She stopped and glanced hopefully at her parents, or at least at the people who had once been her parents. We're busy right now, Melissa, Chapman snapped. Besides, dear, you should do your own work. That's how you learn, Miss Chapman said. If you still can't figure out layer, your father will help you. Melissa's face fell. She forced a smile, but there's no happiness there. I guess you're right, Mom. It's just the square root stuff. Just say like she's hoping her parents might change their mind. Miss Chapman smiled. His smile was empty as hers. Square roots are hard to understand, aren't they? But I know you can do it. I'll come up and check on you before you turn in, sweetheart, Mr. Chapman said. The words are normal enough. I guess my own mom and dad could say the exact same things. Dear, sweetheart. But the way they said it was... something was missing. Humanity, love, call it whatever you want. The words are right, but they're completely wrong. It was horrible, absolutely horrible in a totally different way than the monsters we fought in the Yerk pool. Kind of horrible, makes you want to cry instead of scream. And suddenly I found myself running after Melissa. She headed upstairs, and I reached her room. Melissa sat down in bed and began sobbing. Rachel, can you hear me? Yes, Tobias, up and out of the basement, upstairs in Melissa's room. Thank goodness I've been trying to get you every minute or so, or you might be trapped downstairs. No, I'm out. Good, you have more than an hour left, but Fluffer might be just trying to head home. Cassie and Jake and Mark are trying to catch her, but you know better than anyone how wily he can be. Melissa flopped on her face on the bed. She pulled a pillow over her back of her head and just cried. I can't leave yet. Rachel, the real Fluffer walks in while you're here. Yeah, I know, but I still can't leave. I have something I have to do. I went over the bed, and small as I was, the side of the bed looked like a wall. It could have been the side of a two-story building. I settled back on my haunches, gathering energy, and I sprang up, effortlessly and landed in perfect grace in the bed. Okay, that's the second thing compared to a two-story building, so I'm starting to think that either the bed's the size of the fence, or it's a very small fence, or they just got these mixed up. I looked over Melissa and snipped her hair sticking up under a pillow. Heard a sound coming from somewhere. A sound reminded me of my mother. It reminded me of both my mothers, the human woman and the cat who licked my fur and carried me around her mouth. I recognized the sound. It was purring. I was purring. She put her arm around me and drew me close. The physical contact made me a little anxious. It made the cat in me want to leave, but she started scratching my neck and behind my ears, and I purred a little louder and decided to stick around. I don't know what I've done, Melissa said. It startled me. I realized she was talking to me. Did she guess the truth? Did she know I was human? No, she's just a girl talking to her cat. I don't know what I did, Melissa repeated. Tell me, Fluffer McKitty, what did I do? Well, first of all, you named him Fluffer McKitty. Rachel, what are you doing in there? Tobias, I have plenty of time. You have less than an hour. Don't push your luck. Jake is practically having a fit. He's telling me to tell you to get out. Not yet. Melissa needs me. I stopped purring. Purr was preoccupied. I started purring again. I felt Melissa needed me to purr. She was still crying, still scritching, slid by my ears. What do I do, Fluffer? Why don't they love me anymore? I felt like my heart would break right there, because I knew now why she would stop hanging out with me. I knew why she had become more withdrawn. I knew how little hope there was for her. My stomach twisted and turned. Next time you were asking me to find the Earth, I knew I'd have a whole new answer. Because they destroy a love of parents for their daughter. Because they made Melissa Chapman cry in her bed with no one to comfort her but a cat. It was a small answer, I guess. I mean, it wasn't some high-sounding answer about the entire human race. It was just about this one girl, my friend, whose heart was broken because her parents are no longer really her parents. Look, Rachel, I told Jake what you said. He said to remind you of a job here. Not there to tell Jake to shut up, Tobias. I'll come out. I'll come out, just not yet. I purred as loud as I could, and Melissa cried, and it came to me like a vision. All the children all over, whose parents have become controllers. And the parents whose children have been taken from them and turned into controllers too. It was a terrible image. I wonder how it must feel to see your parents stop loving you. After a while, Melissa fell asleep. I got up and padded downstairs to the pet door. It was chilly outside. My friends were all waiting. They're also a little mad at me for making them wait and worry. You have 10 minutes to spare, Rachel, Jake said. I hope it was worth scaring us half to death. Did you at least discover something useful? Yeah, I discovered plenty. I discovered Chapman's a way to communicate directly to Visor Free. I discovered Visor Free is pretty hot to catch us, so he still thinks we're analytes, and I decided something too. What, Cassie asked me. I decided I don't care what it takes or how many risks I have to run. I don't care what happens to me. I hate these yerks. I hate them. I hate them. And I'm gonna find a way to stop them.